What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to some more Remnant 2. Here, I bring you my Misty Demon build. Sort of a Nightweaver theme, using both of her weapons and a Shade Step to become as shifty as possible. The entire idea here is to make use of the Full Moon Circlet, an amulet that grants a lifesteal while giving you a decent damage bonus. And when running lifesteal, you're almost forced to use Nightfall, as it's incredible at healing you back up. If you want to tank through many different attacks and spit out big red numbers that crush bosses quickly, then you need to try the Misty Demon. For your prime class, you want Challenger. This gives you one free death as your character punches the ground and stands back up defiant once every 10 minutes. Pretty great, as it allows you to be more aggressive without that chance of restarting the boss looming over you. Then we gain 35% more damage and 10% extra crit chance. This allows us to blast away with some high-powered bullets and makes our shotgun extremely effective in close quarters. You can also use a Relic to gain more damage and 2 stacks of Bulwark for 10 seconds. Use your relics offensively, as we don't need them to heal, and you could see a massive boost in damage. For the skill, you want Rampage. While this is easily one of the strongest skills in the game, it doesn't always work with every weapon. Essentially, you gain faster reload, fire rate, and speed for 10 seconds. But every time you gain a new stack of Rage, that 10-second timer will reset, up to 10 stacks, which will then double the effect for 15 seconds. Extremely powerful if you can get to 10 stacks. To do this, you need to deal a lot of damage, or simply get kills. Kills are going to instantly give you a rage stack, while trying for that damage might take a bit longer. So use this to mow down adds in boss arenas for much quicker buildup. Also, staying laser focused on the boss will work too, but add kills was something I noticed helped out quite a bit. We need this for a lot more damage, and the insane increase to fire rate will lifesteal health back instantly. For your subclass, you want Gunslinger. This provides better fire rate, more range damage, and a bit of crit chance. Nightfall suffers pretty bad from a lack of fire rate after it was heavily nerfed to not be as OP. But with both of these classes, you can get its fire rate up there plenty high enough. Gunslinger also grants us more damage after using a relic and ups reload time. So using a relic grants 2 separate damage buffs due to both of our classes. Now, in my footage, I didn't really use this a lot, as I was trying to show how well the lifesteal worked without even taking a relic. So you can actually get way more damage than anything you'll see in this video, with hardly any effort at all. For the skill, you'll want Bullet Storm, an easy boost to fire rate and reload speed that gets Nightfall shooting as quickly as it can get. For armor, you want to run the standard tank setup. Leto Mark II helm, Mark II chest, and Mark II boots with the Labyrinth gloves. It's not very unique, I know, but we want to be lifestealing through damage taken, and so we're going to need as much damage reduction as we can get. Also, since we will have Misty Step, it would be a waste to not use heavy armor, as the weight does not affect us. For the Relic, I initially chose the Tranquil Heart. This heals you over time and is going to heal you back up out of combat without wasting a Relic. Now, as I was looking at this again, I think it may be better to actually go with the Lifeless Heart. You're going to get 20 charges of your relic instead of 10, and can use them for the damage boosts rather than just healing. Either of the hearts are going to work well, and I ran Tranquil, which clearly is good as I beat the game with it, but Lifeless offers a lot more here, so try and run that first. For the relic fragments, you want weak spot damage, ranged crit chance, and ranged crit damage. The standard weapon DPS stuff that gets your gun shooting off high numbers more often than not. Your main gun will be Nightfall. This is a very cool weapon that fires like a scout rifle. Having a decent reload and high damage makes it great for any fight. Then you get its mod, Dreadwalker. For 10 seconds, you go into a shady dimension and gain faster fire rate, lots of lifesteal, and the gun becomes fully automatic. This blue shade also makes you harder to hit, so all things put together, you get a ridiculously powerful mod that just makes all the gameplay 10 times easier. Throw on the Ghost Shell Mutator for high weak spot damage. This makes every 4th weak spot hit gain 40% more damage, which when all stacked out is pretty insane. And at level 10, it increases weak spot crit chance by 15%. This means your weapon is miles better at hitting weak spots, which makes this a very good build for the final boss and several others. For your melee, you want Nightshade. Being the other weapon from Nightweaver, it pairs up nicely and can actually feel great to hit stuff with. Now, its ability is pretty cool, but unfortunately there's a bug at the current time of me making this video that if you use Shade Step and then try to melee, you're going to use your gun as an engineer turret instead of the ability tied to your melee weapon. So, for me, the backstep lifesteal attack was not available. Should be fixed eventually though, I would assume. Use the Shield Breaker mutator as it's one of my favorites, just gaining you some shield on melee attacks, making you much harder to take down. As for the sidearm, you want the third and final weapon found near the Nightweaver, the double barrel. A short-range shotgun that blasts out 2 high-damage rounds. This thing is incredible and will be great against bosses and little dudes as well. Mainly, we need this for some high impact, keeping enemies off of us by pelting them in the face with a hard thud, sending them reeling. It's extremely reliable and fun to use. Now, I also ran Tremors with this, as that mod is very good for impact. A 2-charge mod that sends out waves of root energy, dealing damage and keeping enemies off of you for a time. I like to use this to keep groups busy for a second or destroy extra targets like the root weeds in Cancer's boss fight. This is definitely one of the better mods for dungeons, as it keeps everything busy and comes back decently fast. Finally, run Extender as the mutator. This will add 1 more bullet to the magazine, granting 3 total shots before a reload, but also granting 15% extra reload speed at level 10. The extra reload speed on top of Gunslinger is huge and keeps the gun going. You can fire off 3 shots and in just 1 second, shoot 3 more. I felt like it was the best way to play with the weapon, as it became more reliable than pretty much any other sidearm with this on. Seriously, try it out. I think you might find the double barrels pretty darn powerful. For your amulet and rings, you want some decently standard stuff. Full Moon Circlet makes range damage lifesteal 3% base damage as health, also granting 20% more damage to your guns when at full health. This will allow you to heal from attacks simply from the high fire rate of Nightfall, and then once back at full health, you get a really good damage boost. This also pairs with the Ring of Omens to give us the Shade Step dodge. Since that takes away your health on dodge, the lifesteal works to heal you up as if it never happened. Faerun's Sigil makes crit and weak spot hits generate 10% more mod power. Since Nightfall works best on weak spots anyway, you can regenerate your best ability very quickly, resulting in some fun gameplay where you're lifestealing like crazy and really tough to hit. Ring of Omens grants you that Misty step when used with our amulet, and also makes dodging cost health, so you don't need stamina and can dodge forever. Although with this build, being a little too spammy can get your health pretty low. Not usually a problem, as we can refill that back up, but without the Nightfall mod available, you may be in hot water with a full bar of gray health. Xania's Malice increases weak spot damage by up to 30%, which helps get Nightfall some massive numbers. Then run Probability Cord for 30% more crit damage, which will be an easy damage boost that's pretty hard to pass up. Altogether, you have an easy way to avoid attacks, very high damage, excellent lifesteal, and fast mod regen, resulting in a well-rounded build that makes taking down bosses really easy. So for the concoction, you have 2 different options. I recommend Mudtooth's Tonic for 25 more health. Since we're running a tank setup, this will grant you more leeway against harder hitting attacks, and the lifesteal just looks better with full health for me. You could also run the Sanguine Vapor, which grants 3.5% lifesteal of base damage, but increases your damage taken by 10%. I found this to be good, but not on this build particularly, as we'll already have great lifesteal with Nightfall, and why would we want to take more damage? Honestly, this seems better if we were running a weapon that didn't already have lifesteal, but it is still an option even if I preferred the extra health instead. As for traits, we actually have a unique setup to help us play as efficiently as possible. Ammo reserves so we never run out of bullets and can avoid eating through ammo boxes. Fortify for extra armor, which helps us tank damage when we play less good. Strong back is pointless here, but it comes with Challenger and we can't do anything about it. Vigor for health, 2 points in endurance, as again, it can't be avoided due to our classes. Spirit to help our mods regen faster, and expertise to use our skills more often. Fitness will actually increase the distance of your Shade Step, which not only looks cool, but gets you away from enemies easily. Really, really fun when paired with Shade Step. Now put the 8 points that would have gone into Stamina into Glutton. Since we want to use our relics to gain damage, you'll want that to happen very quickly. Then max out Siphoner so you gain even more lifesteal on top of what we already get from our Amulet and Weapon mod. Altogether, you're going to be tanky, able to avoid damage, and make good use of relics even though you don't need them to simply heal. This build's pretty darn cool because it provides you with a lot of leeway while also granting a huge boost in damage. Try to use a relic whenever a boss is less aggressive so you can gain Bulwark and a big boost in damage. Then use both your skills and Nightfall's mod at the same time to chunk a huge portion of boss health. When our skills aren't active, you deal less damage, but as long as you keep that mod regenning from weak spot hits, you're going to stay alive and get fights over with quickly. I also ran this through all the dungeons, and basically you're unkillable. Ads can't gang up on you as you can shoot Tremor out, stunning all of them, and the lifesteal stops any damage taken from really mattering much at all. Again, getting spammy with the dodge isn't really recommended, but you still can as long as you can shoot enough to heal back up. I personally love Challenger as the prime here because, yeah, you play well and you're dealing some crazy damage, but some of us can't play perfectly all the time, and with the way co-op servers are currently, you take damage out of absolutely nowhere. So a completely free revive is huge. It can really save you a lot of headache. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, a like would be awesome. Remnant 2 has some crazy build potential, and a Nightweaver theme was bound to happen eventually. Be sure to try this one out for an easy Apocalypse run, as the only thing I didn't first try was Venom. He, for whatever reason, seems to catch me off guard at least once every single run, no matter how well I'm playing. But yeah, Annihilation was super easy and genuinely a fun time overall. Give the build a try and become the Dream Hunter yourself. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.